Joe, the UK has voted to leave the European Union, but as you and I have talked, that's really just the first step in this process. Can you tell us what might happen next?
Sure, Noni. Well, I think, again, for context, I think we're talking about the role and the relationship of the UK with the broader European Union this time next year, because many of the negotiations that the UK has to have about their future role should Brexit proceed will take some time, at least up to 2 years. So, clearly we're going to see economic fallout in the UK. They very likely will enter recession, and that's a market change from this time last year when the Bank of England was likely to raise rates at this very moment. We will see some fallout in the European Union. Their economy, which has been growing marginally around 1%, adjusted for inflation, should decelerate further. And the farther you move away from Europe, the less the impact is. Again, assuming financial conditions, which remain fairly solid, remain robust. And that's a big if, though, because this headline risk is not going to go away overnight. The Brexit is not a foregone conclusion, but it's very likely to occur. But with that brings into the big question that everyone asks is that who, if any, is next in terms of leaving the EU? How others' thoughts?
Yeah, definitely. The big risk to the global economy, if anything, it's not the UK Brexit itself. It's more the fallout in the rest of Europe. Yeah. And clearly there are some other anti-European movements in some of continental Europe, which basically is a key risk to watch out going forward, right? Now, the thing is that we have to keep in mind that some of the countries that are members of the euro area, so in addition to being a part of the European Union, they also share the common currency, the euro. They have an extra hurdle to arrive to a decision similar to what the UK arrived last month. So in that sense, we have to ponder that risk too. It's less of a tail risk because of that. But clearly, it's some important risks to watch out.
Yeah, and Joe, you mentioned the long-term nature of this. This certainly is with us for some time to come. But investors a lot of times are talking about, well, what are the short-term impacts? What are the long-term impacts? Really, in the near term, it seems more like it's the uncertainty channel through which this is going to operate. You're not seeing it pass through to the real economy at this stage. Not to say that it won't, but really there's more questions than answers. This is going to be a long, drawn-out process of negotiations on several different fronts. So concern of an imminent drop in GDP, likely in the UK, maybe not as much in the EU before some of these questions are answered, certainly in the US as well.